Welcome to the Spiritually Empowered Podcast, your virtual sanctuary for soul growth, spiritual healing, divine purpose, and conscious manifestation. Together we'll explore mysticism and magic, Buddhist and yogic teachings for inner liberation, shamanic energy medicine, psychic development, and tools to wield your power and protect your energy during this time of global awakening. I'm Ashley Coleman, ordained shamanic minister, advanced energy medicine practitioner, spiritual teacher, and devoted student of life's deepest mysteries. I'm here to help you alchemize ancient soul wounds, reclaim your power, and rise into your sacred calling to bring healing to this world in a way that only you can. I'm so honored to be here with you. Let's dive in. Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to the Spiritually Empowered Podcast. Thank you for being here. How about we share a deep breath together before we dive into today's chat? Holding at the top, if that's okay with you. Breathing out all the way into your pelvis, letting go of the breath. When the breath is disturbed, the mind is disturbed. This is what yoga taught me over a decade ago, and I've been saying that quote for years. You are only as powerful as you are connected to yourself and your breath. And the quickest way to emotional stability, to inner stability, is to find the breath in your lungs and start to breathe more consciously. So let's do that together through this conversation. I'm Ashley. I will be your guide today in the realms of manifestation and specifically uniting the will, the alchemical marriage, the hieros gamos, the inner union that creates the outer reflection of what we most deeply desire. So let's dive in. I want to talk about the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. So think about an iceberg. This is an example that's used often to talk about the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. The conscious mind is the little tip that peeks up from the deep water. By definition, the conscious mind is everything you are aware of directly. I know this, I am aware of this. It's your conscious desires. I want more money, greater love, an amazing partner, a deep sense of purpose. I want to help people. It's everything you know and desire directly. The 90%, 95 plus actually, you can Google this. How much of my life is run by the unconscious mind? Over 90%. The unconscious mind is everything beneath the surface, in the deep waters of the psyche, of the land of emotions. The unconscious mind is everything you are not directly aware of. It's everything that lives under the surface of your conscious awareness. We have an unconscious mind. One reason is because we need to preserve energy. Think about you're brushing your teeth unconsciously. You're not thinking up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right. Your brain takes automatic information, or your brain takes a practice that you've done over and over again and moves it into the unconscious mind to preserve energy. Have you ever driven your car and you got somewhere and you were like, oh my gosh, I have no idea how I got here. I literally wasn't paying attention really. You are driving unconsciously. You're not thinking, press the brake harder or turn. It's become a habit. It's become woven with who you are. And you don't manifest who you are. You don't manifest what you consciously want. You manifest who you are and who you're being. So it's the automatic habits and beliefs and everything under the surface that's creating the results of your life. And when we talk the alchemical marriage, we talk about uniting the conscious and the unconscious mind. We talk about creating harmony and a cohesive relationship between what your conscious mind wants and who you are under the surface, all your habits, all your beliefs, and your identity. The unconscious mind has everything within it that you have suppressed, rejected, or denied about yourself. One way, one very humbling way to see what lives in your unconscious is to look at your projection. So, since the unconscious is unconscious, meaning beneath our level of awareness, we project it onto others like the shadow projects onto the ground when we're walking in the sunshine. So if I were to ask you what annoys the crap out of you about other people, not just slightly, but what qualities can you literally not stand about others? So go ahead. Let me know in the comments if you want. Maybe it's a person you can't stand, a public figure. The qualities that they have, get ready, are in your unconscious psyche. It's all you, boo. That's how I like to say it. It's very humbling. Let's take humor with us. Let's take a lot of self-compassion. Don't use these teachings to beat yourself up, to judge yourself. That's not what this is for. Let's take a breath. Release self-judgment. The qualities that you dislike. So, for example, imagine you just freaking hate rich, lazy people. You probably secretly want to be rich and lazy. Something in your psyche is having an emotional response to that because you're witnessing something in them that's stirring something in you. That's the projection of the unconscious. In my shamanic training, we wrote out three people that we despise, three types of people that just irk us. And we wrote out their qualities and we owned our projections. Where does this live in me? Where do I secretly want to just sit back and drink a virgin margarita and make a lot of money? Or whatever your scenario is. Again, a lot of people don't want to look at this. And so they walk around with a big shadow and they project and they spew, you're so bad, you're so bad. They project it onto others. We do need to hold people accountable. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm saying that this is the power of individuation, of self-wholeness, of owning your projections. So I also want to give you an example of how this shows up or how this can show up when it comes to your conscious desires. I'll tell you a story. A couple years ago, I noticed I was in a pattern of manifesting men who wouldn't commit. So I had a slew of men. It was a particular archetype. It was like a long-haired musician man. There was like four of them in a row who were just flaky. Like I really liked them. I really wanted them to choose me. And I felt the same disappointment with every man. I shamanically tracked what is the common feeling that's showing up in my body that I am left with when these men disappoint the hell out of me. And it was deep disappointment. So my conscious mind wanted to be chosen so much. And side note, whatever desires in your unconscious, it's it's going to be stronger. So the unconscious is 95%. So it bears the weight of your magnetism. It draws circumstances and it draws things to you. We know this scientifically with our belief system. Whatever you believe to be true, you will find evidence for that in the physical world. We are each living in our own reality. Until you change and alter the unconscious blueprint, you will keep creating the same type of men or keep creating the same type of job. You'll keep feeling the same emotional reaction. And for me, in that example, it was disappointment. And I got to give a shout out to Carolyn Elliott. I believe her new last name is Lovewell. She's the author of Existential Kink. And her practice really opened my eyes. And so I asked myself, I realized that I was the common denominator of all these men. And they had been flaky and they wouldn't choose me. And I was like, I want a partner who would move a mountain to be with me. And so through learning about Carolyn Elliott's work, I asked myself a question. Ashley, do you secretly feel safer attracting men who don't commit? I took some deep breaths. I showed up with compassion, curiosity, a little humor. Because if you judge yourself, your unconscious won't reveal information. It's like if you judge a child, they won't let you in. And so the key to awakening to inner union is self-love. Love unites. Love brings something closer to you. It doesn't exile. That's how this works with the unconscious. Come with love. So I said, is there a part of me that feels safer with men who don't commit? And I heard yes. Absolutely yes. I was like, wow. So my unconscious mind was manifesting what it wanted. That's pretty cool. I was manifesting men who wouldn't commit. I wanted that unconsciously. Of course, my conscious mind says, no, I don't want that. But remember, unconscious, 95% plus. So I took some breaths and I accepted that immediately. That's okay. Why? Why? Why do I feel safer with men who don't fully choose me? And I learned from myself, not from an oracle deck, not from a psychic reader, from myself. I learned, I love oracle decks, by the way. I'm making a point there that you can just talk to your soul. Like you can literally just talk to your inner child. You can talk to God. You can talk to your soul and receive direct insight. And come study with me, and I'll teach you how to do that. That's the practice of the mystic, direct insight in relationship. And it is a skill. So I asked myself that question, well, why? And I heard, because I'm still holding a belief that if I am fully chosen by a man and they're all in, I'm going to have to go all in. And if I go all in a relationship, I might lose myself because that happened in the past. I was in a toxic 4-year relationship and it was the most challenging years of my life. I lost myself. I felt like I couldn't breathe or leave. And so your unconscious mind could make a decision after that traumatic experience and say, romantic love equals loss of self. So fuck that. And it will reject it. And you'll literally be driving next to your soulmate and you won't see them. You'll literally be at the same mall with your soulmate, but you won't see them. You won't cross. You only cross when there's a level of integration, when you believe it is safe to have. And the cool thing about the unconscious mind is that once you realize why you were holding yourself back from that and the wisdom in that, meaning my unconscious mind said, I'm trying to protect you from losing yourself. And I currently associate deep romantic love with losing myself. So I'm protecting you. Once you wake up, which means to become conscious of what's living in your unconscious mind, you've just done 90% of the work because it's no longer unconscious when you perceive it directly. It's less about cutting the cord and saying the prayer. It's less about doing the stuff. It's more about waking up to the stuff, if that makes sense. Because when you realize, oh shit, a part of me totally, this is my example, feels safer with men who don't commit. I've just realized that. I fully accept the weirdness of that. I accept it. It sucks to feel disappointed, and I accept it. You've just integrated you've just had an alchemical marriage. You wake up to what's in the unconscious, you accept it. Not just here, but side note, your body's the unconscious. Your body is where you feel the disappointment. Your body is where you feel your emotions, and the language of the unconscious mind is emotions. So deep in your body, in a meditation, and in a moment with yourself, you make peace with what you've created. And in Carolyn Elliott's or Lovewell's story in her book, she talks about feeling a pleasure with poverty. She walked through poverty, and this practice of shadow work helped her heal that pattern. And now she has at least a seven-figure spiritual business. She would be waiting in line at the food bank, and this is just me paraphrasing from the book, and she started to realize that she used to get this electric feeling that it was exciting her to have no money. And she asked herself the same question I asked myself. Does a part of me secretly like this? For whatever reason, because it feels safer, because it feels familiar, because I'll get love if I keep doing this, etc. And it's different for all of us. So you wake up to the unconscious material, you accept it, and then you write a new story. Well, thank you, unconscious mind, for sharing that with me. And you sit with it. This is what I do. That makes sense. I did lose myself back in the day. And then I say out loud to myself, I talk myself into the new belief, Ash, you've come too far to lose yourself. I choose you. I will never self-abandon again. I will walk away if in my soul that's the right choice. You need to know your deal breakers in love. You need to know that you'll be okay no matter what happens. And that's what the Buddha teaches. Grasping creates suffering. Have all the juicy desires you want, but the moment you grasp and you say, I need this to live, you've self-abandoned. The moment you grasp and say, I can't live without you, I need you, you have blinders on. And this is the work that I do in my business, helping women specifically come back to their inner authority so that they stay locked into their truth. So when they get the love of their life, they don't fumble the bag and they don't start to grasp, right? Because they stay centered. Their number one priority is to be right with their soul. So if their partner wants to make love and you and your energy don't want to, then you say no. It is deep self-loyalty. And we need this, in my opinion, before we welcome in the money, the love, right? Sometimes God or the universe, whatever you call it, I call it God, will prepare us to hold the blessing. Find yourself, because I've got some amazing things coming your way, and I want you to keep it. I want it to be sustained. I learned so much from the archetype of the long-haired man who won't commit. I learned to choose myself and say, if you don't fit my values and desires for a partner, I am not entertaining you. Guess what happened? I met my soulmate. I met the love of my life, and I'm living in a dream home. We just moved in together a month ago because I stopped settling, because I changed the blueprint that said deep romantic love, having the right person, I risk losing myself. If that belief was there, which it was, again, you'd be right next to your soulmate, but you won't recognize them. You'll be traumatically drawn. You'll be electrically drawn to the wrong people. So until you integrate and become whole on the inside, there's no perfected state, by the way. Me and my partner heal so much together. There's no perfected state until you have a level of healing and wholeness and deep self-loyalty. You'll settle and you'll grasp. And I know that path. So I hope this example served you today. There's a lot more that I can share. Maybe I'll come on in the next episode and share another one about money. Those are the hot topics, right? Where I know I've learned so much in my relationship with romantic love and finances. That's like the playing ground of many people's wounds and the opportunity to heal. And to heal means to become whole again. And once that alchemical marriage happens, the unconscious mind meets the conscious in matrimony, in love. The unconscious mind takes on the desires of the conscious mind, and now you have a united will. So now you will recognize your soulmate, and you will stop being charged and magnetically drawn to the lesson. You'll attract the blessing. You'll attract what is meant for you through this process of becoming whole and becoming loyal and wildly in love with yourself, shadow and light. I want to invite you, if you are loving this message, you want to go deeper with me, I am opening enrollment right now for my 10-week program for women only. It's an online mentorship for women. It's called Sovereign Soul, and this is the path back to deep self-loyalty. This is the process that I will take you on of the alchemical marriage, so that your unconscious mind merges with your conscious will, and you are embodied in your true desires, and you are a magnet to it, and you trust yourself with it. You trust yourself with the house, with the love, with the money. Thank you for being here. I would absolutely love to hear your examples of the patterns that you're clearing, and would love it if you would share this episode with somebody you think would really benefit from it. So thank you, my love, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you loved this episode, share it with somebody who you really feel would benefit from this message. I'm sending you lots of love, and I'll see you in the next episode.